How's it going, everyone? We gotta talk a little bit about PlayStation Plus because, let's be real, it seems that people are very upset about it, and I knew going into it when PlayStation Plus Essential for the month of January, that's what I'm talking about, but really it stems from a larger issue with PlayStation Plus. But particularly when January was revealed and I saw the lineup, initially, I didn't even think the lineup was that bad. However, when I saw Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League in the lineup, and on top of that, it getting the most real estate and being the most promoted game in the imagery, I was just like, why would you do this? This is just so bad from an optics standpoint, because Suicide Squad is the butt of so many jokes in the gaming community. It is one of, I don't want to say one of the worst games of 2024, but it certainly is one of the worst games relative to what Rocksteady did in the past. And why I don't say it's one of the worst games is because so many games do come out, and if you're playing like some of the really bad games that come out on Steam, because there's just so many games coming out, I guess Suicide Squad is better than those games. But in terms of a $70 game from a premier publisher that did have attention around it, like if you talk about the major releases, yeah, you can make a legit argument that Suicide Squad is literally the worst major release of the entire year of 2024. And as far as games that people actually know about, that's not that big of a stretch. I wasn't even as down on Suicide Squad as a lot of other people, but I definitely understand why people were so critical of it. On top of that, this is 1 year removed from the release of the game, and on top of all of that, they just announced that the game is ending support for updates. Now, it's getting confused a little bit. I saw a lot of people on social media saying that the online servers were being taken down and stuff like that. First of all, they did, to be fair, add an offline component. Took them way too long. An offline component should have been available for the game right out the gate. I talked about it before, but I was playing Suicide Squad early last year, was in the middle of a boss fight, and the servers for Suicide Squad went down, and I literally got booted out of the boss fight towards the end of the boss fight, and I had to redo the entire fight. The boss fight was terrible, and it was just infuriating. I was, by the way, playing the game completely solo. That's why for a game like this to be always online is so astronomically stupid. You want to know why it's always online, or it was always online? Because they want to be able to promote to you, oh my god, look at what we got in the store, you can spend money and get these passes. Suicide Squad is such a example of everything that is wrong with gaming. And not to go on a tangent about this game, but you know what, I'm going to. It was a $70 game, it had fake early access, and it was a live service game that had microtransactions on top of the $70. It's insanity. Thank God that this game failed. Rocksteady, I know that there's a lot of different people within Rocksteady than the people that did the Batman Arkham games, but who cares? You promoted Suicide Squad as if it was coming from the creators of Batman Arkham, so why don't you just make a new Batman Arkham and say, oh my god, the creators of Batman Arkham are back with a new Batman Arkham? By all means, do that. It'll be better than this pile of trash. And like I said, pile of trash probably is a little bit of a stretch. What I always said about Suicide Squad is, if you want some mindless fun with an open world game that you can play while listening to a podcast and you're spending $3 on it, it's not a bad deal. But bear in mind, and this was pretty interesting, on Xbox and Steam, Suicide Squad went down to like $3.50. It did not go down to that price point on the PlayStation Store during the holiday sale. I imagine it's because they didn't want it to get down to that price and then give it away on PlayStation Plus Essential. But this game is valued at $3 to $5, so as far as a value standpoint goes, it is a trash offering. However, the other two games, I actually think there's some value in them. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered and the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, those are two solid offerings, especially Need for Speed in my eyes. I think that's a great arcade racer, and Stanley Parable is a really well-received game, and, it is what it is. Like, Suicide Squad is gonna get the most attention. It's the newest game, and they are promoting it the most. In the image, Suicide Squad is the biggest compared to the other two titles. It seems like the other two games are given the accessory game slot, and Suicide Squad is like, oh my god, Suicide Squad is here. And to kick off the new year with Suicide Squad, just I don't know who's in charge of this kind of stuff, and I'm sure they don't care, and in the grand scheme of things, it probably won't matter. It's another case of Sony doing small things that are just annoying and aren't great for the consumer, that they are just completely gonna get away with because they don't have any competition, and they always have the legion of defenders that bug out when I do videos criticizing them. They're like, you're too negative on PlayStation. Brothers, you guys aren't negative enough. PlayStation's getting away with so much trash these days that y'all have to call it out. But to be fair, in the comment section of my PS Plus video, people are just having a field day with Sony, and rightfully so. Sony could have added Concord in there just to annoy people, says one commenter. Suicide Squad kills the monthly game. Welcome to 2025. Sony set our expectations low. So a 5-year-old remaster of a 15-year-old game, an extended edition of a 12-year-old game, and Suicide Squad. Happy New Year, everyone. Alright, like, when you put it that way, you know, it is what it is. Sony bringing in trash to start the new year. After 10 plus years, I canceled my PSN. What a joke. Cash grab greedy clowns. This feels like Sony's still mad at us for hating Concord. So I joked earlier this year I wouldn't even play Suicide Squad if it was on PS Plus, and nothing has changed. That's what I said about Suicide Squad in the other video. It was not about the investment of the money anymore. When the game is down to $3 to $5, who gives a damn? It's $3 to $5. You spend that in the morning for your coffee, a lot of you guys do. The issue is the time investment. I think that's the issue for a lot of us. Are these games worth your time? And Suicide Squad, you know, that's gonna be dependent person to person. So happy I didn't renew my PS Plus sub in December. Thanks, Cross, appreciated. Note that Suicide Squad recently got an offline mode that doesn't require a constant internet connection, so even if the servers are down, you can still play it offline. Yeah, that did just get added, and the servers didn't get shut down yet. I imagine they will at some point. The updates are no longer gonna come because, you know, the game's not worth updating. Yup, absolutely 100% trash. A poor month. Suicide Squad was recently on sale at around $4.99 depending on the platform. Yeah, but what's interesting is it wasn't on sale for $4.99 in the PSN store from what I remember. Probably because they knew they were gonna give this away on PS Plus and they didn't want the illusion of lessening the game's value. I look forward to the announcement every month, and every time I'm disappointed. There are so many games that they could offer but never do. That is a good point. There are so many other titles that they could offer, you know, games that didn't do all too well. Like, even last year, why not work out a deal with, like, a Don't Nod Entertainment to get Banisher's Ghosts of New Eden? Yeah, that game came out back in February, but you know what? That game didn't sell all that well, and it's a game that I think people would be at least somewhat interested in, and I don't know. I don't think Don't Nod would require, like, a crazy deal to get that game on the service, but what do I know? This is definitely Sony trying to get payback at us awesome gamers for getting Concord shut down. Waiting for the month when Dustborn is offered. I bought Suicide Squad for $20 a while back and I thought I was getting a great deal at the time. Boy, was I wrong. But again, something like this is emblematic of a larger issue of PlayStation Plus where the price point for PS Plus has gone up. Remember, they increased the yearly subscription price point of PlayStation Plus, and what did they say? So they could continue offering us high quality games, and I have been saying this ever since that the Plus price went up. That was back in the summer of 2023. I would argue that month over month, the value proposition has consistently gone down, especially with PS Plus Extra. When you're looking at the games being cycled out of the service, and more games are getting cycled out in January versus the games getting added into the service. I've never had the expectation that PlayStation Plus and the vault catalog of games was going to be at the level of Game Pass. It's two different business models. However, there is a happy medium where PS Plus could be of quality and it could be a worthwhile subscription service. I'm not expecting day one first-party titles. I'm not expecting day one games in general from big publishers like, you know, what Microsoft does with Stalker 2 and Persona 3 Reload, etc., etc. But I do expect a level of quality with the price increase, and again, price went up and the literal value proposition went down, and on top of that, they literally pulled their own first-party games that were out so they can do stuff like sell you remastered versions of Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, stuff like that is just so anti-consumer, and it's insane, and people should be calling it out. And then they pull Horizon Zero Dawn, they double the price of Horizon Zero Dawn, and then they release a remastered version. Like, Sony be wild and out here with PS Plus, and they deserve to get trashed. for how trash the service has been as far as the game offerings. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. It is interesting that it seems like this is one of those months that has gotten even more pushback than I would have expected. And I think it's from an optic standpoint. Like, Suicide Squad was one of the worst received games of 2024, that you're offering that as the first game of 2025. Yeah, you deserve to get clowned on. But that'll do it for me. Your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.